Hello everybody, my name is Fatima Nazir and I have completed this project with my partner Mohammad Zuhair. In this video, I'll walk through how I deployed my fictional learning platform, which is called the LearnHub, through various AWS services. I'll explain each step, show important screenshots, and reflect on what I learned during this implementation. Since I'm working with the AWS Academy Learner Lab environment, the IAM roles and global permissions were already managed. The predefined lab role was automatically attached to my EC2 instance. This role had all the entire list of the policies required, like the Amazon EC2 full access, Amazon RDS full access, but I wasn't able to attach. So you can see the screenshot that I've shared. It does say that we did try adding the policies, but the access was denied. So once the access is given by the third party, which is Amazon in this case, we will be able to add the policies. In task 2, I designed a secure virtual private cloud called LearnHub VPC. I created 2 public and private subnets across 2 availability zones. I added an internet gateway for public access and a NAT gateway for private subnet routing. Route tables were configured correctly for traffic flow. I also added port 22 and port 80. Port 22 was used for secure access and port 80 for web traffic. I then launched an EC2 instance using Amazon Linux, placed it in the public subnet, and assigned the web SG. I also used user data script to install a web server on boot. For task 3, for the web feature, I used the Amazon Q developer activity to build a simple web app. The app displayed information about the instance and allowed users to interact with the database via browser interface. I cloned the code onto my EC2 instance, configured permissions, and tested it using the public IP. In task 4, I enabled termination protection on my EC2 instance to prevent accidental deletion. Then I upgraded the instance type from T2 micro to T2 medium for better performance. Using Amazon CloudWatch, I monitored CPU utilization, network in and out, disk activity. This helped me understand how cloud monitoring works in real time. In task 5, I created a new EBS volume and attached it to my EC2 instance. Then I formatted and mounted it using Linux commands. Finally, I created an EBS snapshot to back up the volume for future use. This ensures that I can recover data if anything goes wrong. In task 6, for the database layer, I used Amazon RDS to create a multi-AZ MySQL database. So I took certain steps. I created a DB subnet using private subnets, then created a DB security group that allowed my SQL port 3306 access only from the web security group. Then I launched the RDS instance. I launched the RDS instance with the identifier. Once available, I copied the endpoint and configured my web app on EC2 to connect using the credentials that I have. For the database, it was lab and then user main, and there was a password. The app connected successfully and displayed the address book interface. For the task 7, I created an AMI Amazon machine image of the EC2 instance. Then I used this AMI to launch template, and from that I built an auto-scaling group across all the availability zones. To handle traffic, I created an application load balancer and linked it with the scaling group. Now the traffic is evenly distributed and the system scales as needed. This assignment was a big learning curve, but extremely valuable. So what I learned during this assignment was how to use and interconnect core AWS services like EC2, RDS, EBS, CloudWatch. The importance of security groups and subnet planning is something I learned as well. And also the real world deployment strategies with auto scaling and load balancing. During this assignment, there were certain challenges that I faced. I struggled with configuring RDS subnet group correctly. I also struggled with making EC2 instance connect securely to RDS. And understanding the flow of traffic in private and public subnets was something I kind of struggled with. I overcame these by going through the README documentation that we had and referring back to previous labs for a more clear understanding and to break down each issue step by step. Thank you so much for watching my video. This project helped me gain real cloud deployment experience, and I look forward to applying this knowledge in future technical roles. I've also shared the LearnHub business report in the description below.